Eid Mubarak. May I have your attention, please? I know that you guys are very busy in your conversations after eating, but I'd like to have some attention here before I continue. Okay? All right? All right, now. So, you know, there's two things that are going on this month that are important. First, we have just celebrated Eid, and that's why we're here to celebrate the occasion and enjoy food and entertainment. But the second thing that I think is also important for us to be aware of is that this is September 2011, and in about a week, and actually exactly a week from today, is going to be the 10th anniversary of the 9/11 terror attacks that took place in the United States. So I'm going to talk about a little bit of both. First, but before I get into that, let me do a little quick trivia here. You all know that Obama's father, you want to click onto the next one here? Now, we all know that Obama's father was a Kenyan Muslim. But do you know who Steve Jobs' father is? Does anybody know? Yeah, so you guys have heard. Yeah, his father is actually a Syrian Muslim, which came as a surprise to me as well. It turns out that he was the son of a Syrian Muslim immigrant who married a Caucasian girl by the name of Simpson. And since her parents disapproved, they had to split up. And when they split up, his wife, Simpson, actually gave up Steve Jobs for adoption. So that's how, you know, he actually has not been in contact with his biological father. But there's another interesting story that goes with it, and that is that Steve Jobs' sister is also a very celebrated person. Her name is Mona Simpson. She's his real biological sister. She was raised by her mother, and she is a professor of political science and a very good writer. She's actually written a few books. So let me move on now about the 10th anniversary that's coming up. You want to move on to the next? Okay. So first, obviously, you have to be aware that there's going to be a lot of rhetoric, anti-Muslim rhetoric in the United States. It's already starting to happen, and I think you can see more of it. And you have to, you know, to the extent you can, try and correct misperceptions about Islam and Muslims. I know it's a difficult task under the current circumstances, but you have to do the best you can. And obviously, you have to stay safe. So, you want to click to the next slide? This is a statement that, actually, this guy is a comedian. His name is Dean Obadullah. But this is a serious statement. He basically says that stoking the flames of hate against Arabs and Muslims has become accepted in mainstream America. It's no longer just quietly muttered behind closed doors. You know, it used to be that people thought it was just a right-wing fringe activity, but unfortunately it's gone mainstream. And it's become quite acceptable for people to say terrible things about Muslims and Islam and get away with it. The kinds of things that if they said about other minorities like Jews or blacks, they would be in a lot of trouble. But with Muslims, they can basically get away with it. So let's move on to the next slide. You want to play that? This is a clip I'm going to play.
The problem is that people are afraid of us because they don't know really who we are. I mean, honestly, there are basically two news stories about us, and it's no one's fault, but there are. There's the bad story, where we're described as militant, gunmen, and terrorists, and then the occasional positive one, where we're described as alleged militant, gunmen, and terrorists. I'm jealous if we don't get a whole month that celebrates our heritage like other groups in America, like African Americans, Black History Month, Asians, Asian Awareness Month, Hispanic Awareness Month. What do we get? Orange alert. Not what we want. even the most open-minded people, you've been conditioned by the media to be afraid of people with accents. And I can show you, I can say the same thing with or without a Middle Eastern accent. It can change the whole meaning. Why? If I go, hey, wait till Friday night. We've been planning this for months. People be talking about this for years. It could be a party, right? If I go, wait till Friday night. We've been planning this for months. People be talking about this for years. Scary, right? It's scary because...
So I don't know how many of you got this. The point he's making is it's the same two innocent things two different people say, one without an accent and the other with accent, and the meaning, the interpretation completely changes. If it's a Muslim talking about, you know, something big happening on a certain day, and everybody's going to have a lot of fun, it's automatically assumed that they're up to no good. So that's the kind of racism that we have to deal with. So one of the ways, I think there's several, you want to move on to the next slide? There's ways you can fight the stereotype. One, you know, a lot of people don't know that in 9/11 terror attacks, there were 62 Muslims who were also killed in the Twin Towers and the Pentagon and Pennsylvania, Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So the Muslims were both the attackers and the victims on that particular day. The second is that Muslim Americans have served and died fighting for America. So they're, you know, just as patriotic as anybody else. Third, many times more Muslims have died in terror attacks than non-Muslims since 9/11. You know, it's probably, you know, if you talk about 3,000, probably the number of Muslims who've died is probably more like 300,000 or more. The other point is that Muslims are not monolithic, and I'm going to show you a little video to make that point, that Muslims come in a variety of shapes, sizes, colors, ethnicities, nationalities, races. So there are all kinds of different people within Islam, because it's such a large number of people. You can't just, you know, stereotype the entire Muslim population by painting them as some kind of militant terrorist like Osama bin Laden. Next slide. So one of the things here I'll point out to you is Malcolm X. I don't know if you've heard about Malcolm X. He went to Mecca to perform Hajj, and he was a very racist, a black racist Muslim. He used to consider all white people as basically devils, and he thought there could be nothing good about them. When he went there, he saw that there were a lot of white Muslims there as well, and who were very nice to him, who got along well with him. So this is what he wrote. There were tens of thousands of pilgrims from all over the world. They were all colors, from blue-eyed blondes to black-skinned Africans. But we were all participating in the same rituals, displaying the same spirit of unity and brotherhood that my experiences in America have led me to believe never could exist between the white and the non-white. So it basically says that, you know, again, Muslims come in a lot of different varieties. Next, I'm going to play this clip here, which essentially is about music from different parts of the Islamic world, how different people in Islamic world celebrate, starting with Indonesian, and then, you know, you're going to hear something in Persian and Arabic and Urdu and Bengali and so on and so forth. So let's just play that. What happened? I took it off of the YouTube because it was it made the point that I'm trying to make.